You could be the best drone pilot in the world, but if no one knows about you, you are not getting paid. I put on a masterclass specifically for marketing your drone business in 2025, covering really what I've learned over the last 7 years to build my drone business and what I've helped other pilots do as well. And this is going to be a snippet in this video. We're going to cover part three of the three key areas that I talk about. Number one was B2B marketing. Number two was inbound and outbound strategies. And then number three, that we're going to dive into right now, is awareness ads versus intention ads and what's going to be most beneficial for you and your business. And then we also talk about the funnel that is going to cover it all, put it all together, seal it on with a bow. So that way you can start implementing all these strategies and taking your drone business to the next level in 2025. Let's dive in. So, awareness ads versus intention ads. Okay. So, when we have the solid foundation of our inbound figured out and our outbound figured out, paid ads can really act as a huge accelerator. This is just fuel on the fire. And let's see if I can. That's my graphic of a fire. I'm not that good at drawing, but that's basically our fire here. If we don't have a fire, the fuel doesn't do anything, right? So we got to make sure, going back to what Vincent asked, we've got to make sure that our inbound strategy, what we're sending people to, is solid, right? Because otherwise we just have a bunch of people going to a place that they're like, yeah, this is not for me. Like, this is the wrong business. Like, we want to make it look legit and want them to start the conversation with us. Intention ads versus awareness ads. Both of them can be great depending on what we're doing. But I want to get into the 20, 40, 40% rule here. 20% of our clients are ready to buy. Love these people. They're like, yeah, let's crush it. Like, let's rock and roll, baby. They're like, yeah, we want to hire you. Let's get you on the calendar for next week. Like, how can I pay you and how much? Cool, rock on. Now, this works really well for intention ads. Why? Because these people are that 20%. They are actively looking for our services and just need to make sure that you are the right person for it. So that's how we build out the credibility and trust, right? This works really well with Google Ads, and we'll see how it all stacks here in a second. But that's intention-based searching. Drone service provider in Las Vegas. I want to make sure that I'm showing up for that in my online presence, but also when I'm running Google Ads as well, because I want to capitalize on this 20% of people that are just super, super on fire. Then we've got the 40% here. They're not thinking about our services right now, but they would benefit, and they would benefit now. So if I was able to get the opportunity to pitch someone in this 40%, be like, oh man, I never thought about that, but we've got a project next week that we could probably really use that on. Can we get you out there? Yeah, let's absolutely do it. So that's 40% of people that we need to just become more aware to. And then this 40%, they'd benefit in the future. So these 80% here will work really well when it comes to awareness advertising. Now, this is tough because they're more cold, right? So awareness advertising is more educational on how I could help you. Like, hey, if you're a construction company, we can do progress updates. Hey, if you're a video production company, I can be your drone service operator. It's warming them up to the idea. So it's more of a long-term play. That's what you see like most big ads, at the Super Bowl. All those are just like awareness ads. They're not usually like a call to action on like, hey, buy Coca-Cola right now. It's just Coca-Cola is a part of our life, and you got a bunch of crazy stuff going on that's entertaining. But then maybe that next day you go and buy a Coke for, psychological reasons, right? But this comes down to the long game of making people aware of your stuff in your area. And they say it takes 7 times for people to see your service before they end up buying from you. And I'd probably say that just comes down to the level of trust and how it benefits them. Because like day one of you like reaching out to someone, they're like, yeah, we probably don't need that. next time it's like, okay, well, maybe I would. Let me think about it a little bit more. Like 7 times later, we probably built enough trust where it's like, okay, I think I can see how this would help me. So that's like the differentiation. Obviously, the intention ads are what I prefer. I think everyone prefers that. But long term, the more people that know about our stuff, the more people that are aware about what we do, the more people that could potentially buy from us, right? So the intention ad's probably going to get us a return quicker, but the awareness ad will probably get us a bigger return long term. Couple questions. So with mapping skills, I mean, first off, we got to figure out the equipment. And most of the time I say like, and yeah, Drone Launch Academy, Pilot Institute, like there's like probably 10 companies, Drone U, that have like different mapping courses. I think not Drone Launch, but UAV Coach as well. Like that's all the information. Really, like what I prefer is to get a foot in the door with those companies and then figure out how I can upsell mapping services or different types of services. Most people are like, hey, like I just want to go 0 to 100 and tell you all the ways that drones can benefit you. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I'm not even sold on the idea of you even coming out and working for me, right? Because we don't have trust. But then it's like, okay, well, if I come out consistently, regularly, I'm providing a good product, okay, maybe we'll hear you out a little bit more. And then I can start ascending them into those mapping services or higher level services to charge for. Vincent, the name of the business all relays on obtaining that trust from clients with that additional referrals if possible. Now have you utilized photos and videos from a previous project? Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the first like 10 clients that you're getting, it's way more about like the credibility and the examples that you're getting, right? Because then now I can show 10 other people in that same industry, like this is what I do. This is what I can do, right? Because no one wants to be your first. It's like, okay, well, you have experience flying drones in real estate, but have you ever been on a job site? No. Okay, well, maybe we'll go with someone else. And so we want to make sure that we just have one, the experience, but also two, just the examples to highlight, in those industries we're targeting. All right. So that's really the difference between the awareness and the attention ads. Now, what I want to do next is really kind of cover the funnel itself and kind of like put these all together because we've got like the big three that we talked about. But I want to break this down to make it a little bit more, clear to what we do. So when it comes to inbound, where we want to start here, and it's not really like it's the first step, but it's not necessarily the first thing that people will see. But we want to start with our online presence. Okay. This is our findability, where we want people to land, what we want people to see, how we want people to reach out to us. That starts with our online presence. And then how we build on top of that is really with our local SEO. That builds off because then it actually propels like search engine optimization. It propels our online presence because the last thing I want is to have a really, really pretty website that no one can find. Like I want it to be showing up locally in all the search results that I need it to show up for in all the services that I provide. And then once I'm starting to convert from my online presence with that SEO getting dialed, then what I want to pour on the fire is Google Ads, my intention-based ads, right? That's really what kind of shows more people what I do and gets me more of an audience when people are intention-based searching. Because with inbound over here, this is all intention. People actively looking, right? Keep in mind, this is only 20% of our clients. Crap. Okay, what do we do? Well, how we want to make sure, because like all these pieces, it's hard work. Got to put them all together, got to make sure it fits, got to make sure everything works great. Well, what we've got to do is make sure that it actually compounds. Like I don't want to just like do all this work for one client to use me at one point, right? I want to turn that more from 20% into a bigger number in my business, right? So like how I view like every job that I book, if it's a first time client, really what I do is that's the interview, right? Maybe they saw my ad, they went to my online presence because of the local SEO. I showed up, cool. Now we booked the job. it's still in the interview process for me, right? I get paid, I go out there. I want to turn this into three different things. I want to see if I can upsell different services, maybe not for the first job, but for the next job. So I'm setting a vision for more work, continued work with the client. Then, like, the recurring, like, how does that fit? Like, the next time we come out, like, how does that work? Maybe I'm providing a new service, or maybe I'm just coming out once a month to do the same thing. And then number three, leveraging that relationship. How do I do that? Well, simple ways to get a testimonial to show, like, hey, you're not a hobbyist, you're actually a professional working with clients, providing value. Cool. I'm in that industry, I helped people. Or going, hey, I know we did such a good job for you. Like, what other clients or what other companies do you know that would benefit from this service? And then they're like, oh, well, I don't really know. Maybe this company, maybe that company. Especially with construction, anytime I go out on a job site, there are probably like 8 different potential clients that I have on a job site. It's like the excavation company, the property manager, the investor, the owner, the banker, like all those pieces, potentially different subcontractors. Like I've worked with all of them. Like they could all potentially be my client. And so I want to leverage the one relationship to then get work with the others, right? And so I don't want it to just be like one job. You know, I paid however much money for the Google ad to show up. I got my online presence, spent however much time doing that. The local SEO showed them what I wanted them to show, and then they're like, okay, cool. We do a $300 photo package, and then never hear from them again. That's not what I want. I want to turn that into either recurring revenue, where I'm setting the vision, or I'm upselling, going, hey, I know you just want photos, but what if we did video too? I know you just want video, but what if we did maps too? What if we did an ortho? What if we did this? I'm like, well, we didn't really think about it. Now I get the opportunity to pitch because they're already interested, right? Or we leverage that to then say, hey, yeah, Jacob knows what he's doing. He's a legit service provider here. Like he could definitely help us. Does that make sense so far? Communication diffusion is the best way to have more opportunities. Yeah, exactly. It's like example deliverables is super, super important. Otherwise, like there's so much ambiguity when it comes to drone services. It's like if I'm trying to explain like an FPV fly-through tour, like unless they've seen 20 videos of the exact same thing, they're like, we have no idea. Especially construction companies. Like, yeah, we have no idea. We don't want that. I'm like, well, why don't we just try it out? Like, here's an example, or let me just demo it for you, because I know that's going to get their buy-in versus me just like trying to explain, well, no, it's a drone and I'm actually flying with goggles and 50 things they don't care about. It's like, no, here's how you can get value from it, right? We're getting an all-encompassing view of the property, inside, outside, all drone related, and it's super engaging, right? Like that's going to help pitch way more than me trying to explain what FPV is. Yeah, it's definitely like the trial phase. Like if I only work with a client one time, I haven't done my job right. And that's why I always go back and ask for feedback, because then that will help me 100% to figure out if I did a good job or not and what I didn't do a good job on, right? Because if I don't ask, it's not like they're going to tell me. They just won't hire me again. And so if you're not getting recurring rev, it's probably because clients in the past have been burned. They're like, well, I don't want to hire Jacob again. Like the footage he got from me last time is crap. Like, no, we're not going to do it. But they're not going to be like, hey, Jacob, by the way, your stuff sucks. It's like 90% of clients aren't going to say that. So this is our inbound strategy here. Our online presence is really at the center here, breaking off where we back it up with local SEO, and then we throw fuel on the fire, Google ads, and then build the compounding returns and turn the 20% into more of our actual client percentage, right? So that's inbound. What I like for this is just like what's really simple is just the big three. So anytime I'm working on my inbound, I want to have these three show up. So I want to have my website with my SEO. I want to have my Google business listing, right? That's my online presence, part of it at least. And then I want to have the Google ad so that at 3 points when someone's searching for drone services in my area, boom, 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 like I'm showing up. It's not just one, it's not one and done, it's all three to just show what credibility. That's so much stronger than just one link maybe that's showing up, right? I want to make sure it's like, okay, overwhelming, like this person knows, let's at least see what they have to say. Cool. Now we can get the ball rolling versus maybe I got lucky and showed up in search results like on one of these things. Google's got a lot of links that show, right? So we want to make sure that we're showing up with those big three. Then we're getting to the outbound, and then well, hopefully we can wrap this up a little early here today. Get some questions for you guys. But our outbound strategy, where do we start? We start with the research, like 100%. Like we've got to be able to know where our ideal clients are hanging out, what they're doing, who the potential client is, like what they're looking for, even if they're not necessarily looking for my services, what they would be looking for, right? So this really comes down to the who. Then we've got number two, building off of that, is just really network expansion, building awareness. Like the more awareness that we have, the more people are likely to tell someone about what we do, bring someone to us, or say, oh, yeah, I could benefit from that service maybe next month, right? That's really important. And then we've got, on top of this, just building trust, right? Because I'm aware about a lot of products and services, and I'm not going to buy a lot of them because I don't want them or I don't trust it, whatever it is, right? And then on top of this, last thing is we get the opportunity to pitch. So let's break this down. So with the research, right, this is our who, like who we are targeting specifically, right? If we don't know that, if we don't know the three industries we're specifically targeting, the people that would be sending us a check in the mail, then we've got a shotgun approach and we're trying to hit a billion things at once and we're not going to hit anything. Got to have the who figured out. With the awareness, we can pay for it or we can work for it, or we can do both. But when it comes to paying for it, that's our social media ads, our awareness ads that we can't necessarily track, that might work for us, might not work for us, right? Then we've got our cold outreach, and then we've got our networking. And sometimes you pay for networking, sometimes you don't, but these are the three things that we can build awareness with in our areas that work for business to business services like what we do. And with the cold outreach, like I said, it's like a 7x on the time, the amount of times that we need to show up and before they'll buy from us. So we have a minimum of 4 reach outs, whether we do email, call follow up, email, call follow up, or we do the other way. Like we want to at least have 4 in a given month, once a week, for those people to outreach to. And then with the ads, like we don't just say, here, buy my stuff. Like what we want to do is we want to warm up the colder audience, right? Because right now on the outbound, everything down here is cold. We little by little bring them up to warmth, right? Building trust really shows the educational piece of like what I can actually do. Hey, I know you think drone services is just pretty photos, but we actually do thermal, we actually do this, we actually do that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could benefit, right? I know you think we just do outside aerials and far away drone shots, but we can do interior FPV fly through stuff. That's highlighting how it specifically benefits that client. It's basically answering the how. Because like I said, we're handling objections with the outbound. They're going, it doesn't work for me, or I don't think it's going to benefit. Like we've got to handle all those objections. And then when it comes to the pitch, we pitch when the time is right. Like we basically earn as we warm people up. And we're like here, building awareness, building trust, showing what we do. Then if we can get to here, we're earning that. We're earning the opportunity to give a pitch to somebody. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I think that might benefit me, right? Whether it's me telling people about what I do again and again and again, and then they have something that comes up. I'm like, hey, you know, with this groundbreaking, with this new opening, with this ceremony here, like, I think it would really work to have drone services. What do you think? They're like, because they're not thinking necessarily, but I've built enough trust with them. Like a lot of people that I've worked with, like I've worked with a lot of crazy people, but a couple come to mind, like a mattress store. I'm like, why would a drone service provider ever get hired by a mattress store, right? Well, it's because I educated on before and afters. I educated on interior fly through stuff. I educated on different services. And then when my buddy was opening up a mattress store and he opened up the lease and it was just like looked really bad and they were going to spend a bunch of money to fix, the property up and then flip it and put a bunch of beds in it and make it look really, really fancy. He was like, what if we did a before and after highlighting what's going on, flying in and capturing everything? He wouldn't have come up with that on his own unless I educated him like on what I could do so that when the time was right, then I could pitch, right? So it's just about getting people to the point where we can earn the opportunity to pitch. And when people pay me, then it already sounds like I have the opportunity to now pitch them on different services that I do. And I'm always trying to not necessarily like upsell, I'm trying to just plant seeds for like, hey, have you thought about this for the next project? Hey, have you thought about this for the next listing? And that way, like they're seeing that I'm actively like partnering with them on a project, on like helping their business versus like, yeah, here's some photos. I don't really care if they help you, but like I'll talk to you later and like call me when you need me. It's like, no, man, what we could do for this one, what we could do for that one. And then now we're opening up their ideas of what we could do for them. That's our inbound. That's our outbound. Like I said, the outbound, a lot more people don't know about what we do. A lot more people aren't educated and aren't initially going like, oh, I need a drone pilot for this, right? So we've got to do the work of warming them up, and that takes time. That's why I love like networking and getting strong referrals because now I've got people also helping me with, what I do and with what I actually sell. For those, like for both of these pieces, really at the end of the day, like the better we are at like calling out our ideal clients, like the better. Well, there you have it. That is the final piece of the marketing masterclass for really tying everything up with the funnel to get everything set up correctly the way that you need it to start building your drone business and market correctly. Now, marketing is a very, very important part, but there's so many integral pieces that go into building a business, along with just client fulfillment, editing content deliverables, and obviously doing the drone ops piece, the heart of the business. If you are needing help with any of those areas, I'd love to set up a time to chat with you where we could talk a little bit more about your goals, where you're at, where you're wanting to get to really see if the drone crew would be a big benefit to you and your business. Keep in mind, I only work with licensed 107 pilots in the United States. So if you don't have that, watch my free training on that and get that. And then we can talk about building the business, starting out with getting the first $1,000 made, the first 1 to 2K a month consistently, and then past that to 5K a month and above. Helped over 100 drone pilots at this point take their business to the next level. Been in the industry for about 7 years building my own business and would love to just shorten the learning curve for you and your business to start getting the results that you're looking for. So if you feel stuck, I'd love for you to set up a time with my team or myself to chat about all that stuff and really see if the high level strategy that we would be implementing into your business would be beneficial for you. So if you want to do that, click the link below, book a time with my team, and hopefully we can get you to the next level. Fly safe.